Hey everybody, it's Ronnie here, and so in today's video, I wanted to do something a little different. If you notice, I'm holding my phone, and that is because I will be doing my first ever crochet vlog. And so in this first ever vlog, I will be vlogging how I create this adorable giant Enderman pattern. I can't even fit him in camera, he's ginormous. So this will be a free pattern that will be published on my Ribblr and Instagram. And then this won't necessarily be a tutorial, I will include the steps, but if you want a well written out pattern, I would check the link in the description. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So I have two skeins of this big twist plush yarn in, yeah, it's just black. And then I am using a 9mm crochet hook because since this is a big plush, like if I use a smaller yarn and a smaller hook size, it's just gonna take forever. So yeah, big twist plush, 9mm crochet hook, scissors, little tag guy, blanking out on his name, and yeah, let's get into the design process. Okay, so what I did next to start designing the pattern is I pulled up a picture of my Enderman. I have this called a scale ruler. Now I'm using, I believe it is an architect's ruler, and yes, it is an architect's ruler and not an engineering ruler. And so I just kind of measured it out to see what'd be best or what hit my 2 feet, and this one did the 1.5 scale, and so I just divided it up based on that. And then yeah, it's falling everywhere, but I kind of did it is a little mathy math and a little conversion, but then I ended up with all of my measurements. Now of course my math's not going to be perfect because I'm just kind of winging this. It is a little bit off, but I think with just a few adjustments it'll work out. Alrighty, I got my yarn, I got my cat, and I got my crochet hook, and so I'm going to start with the Enderman legs and arms since they're pretty just easy, super long rectangles. So for this, I'm getting some inspiration from Gradia project. I will post the link in the description of this video, but there's this really cool cube amigurumi tutorial that I've gotten some inspiration from for how to make that cube shape. And so with that, I'm going to start off and just kind of make it from here. In the tutorial, it starts with 8 single crochet. And so I did those 8 single crochet in a magic ring. And then to keep it all even, I'll just do a little slip stitch. Then I'm gonna chain 1. And then to make the actual cube formation, I'm gonna do 1 single crochet. And then 3 single crochet in the next stitch. So instead of a normal increase with 2 single crochet, it's gonna be 3. And then I'll just repeat that. 1 single crochet, 3 single crochet increase. And then one last time, just doing it 4 times. And then I'm gonna slip stitch back into that first stitch to get my cube. It's a little hard to see, especially because my blanket is black and the yarn is also black, but it'll work. Alright, so from there I'm gonna chain 1, and then this gives me 16 single crochets in my round, so I will just do single crochets in the back loops to try to keep that square. And again, it's similar to what's done in this crochet tutorial. I only do the first 2 rounds of it, since my Enderman isn't gonna be that big. Alrighty, so after doing that, I will just again slip stitch to the first stitch and chain 1. Now, with the measurements I had made, the legs will be 1 foot and then 2.5 inches. So I will be just chaining 1 and single crocheting around, like continuing it. So like do the 16 single crochet, slip stitch, chain 1, 16 single crochet, until I hit 1.5 feet. And then I will let y'all know how much that is. Alrighty, so progress update. I have my little sketch. I got way ahead of myself because I forgot filming is a thing. But I made both legs of my 2-foot Enderman. So the legs are 1 foot and then 2.5 inches. So of course I went ahead and I measured that out. And I got my foot and 2.5 inches on the dot. And that was 27 rounds. So after, again, if you're trying to follow this as an actual pattern, I check out the written pattern I have linked down below on Ribblr and Instagram. And yeah. And so after, thanks Discord. So after that first round, after the square where you just do single crochet in the back loop, yeah, single crochet in the back loop, you do 27 more just single crochet around 16, and that got me my 1.5 feet. It just, like, I think this is a pretty good size for the Enderman, so I'm happy, like, I didn't really have to undo it with that, because I know sometimes there's a lot of, you know, trial and error with undoing and redoing, but this is good. And then I just left, well, this one I, like, played yarn chicken and barely got it, but then this one I have a decent sized tail, so I might go through Discord. Be quiet, how rude. But yeah, I might go through and try to fix the stuffing and such. And of course, since I really love getting ahead of myself, I also did an arm. Now with the arms of an Enderman, you can kind of see it in this really messy sketch, but you could see the tops of them. So I basically did the same thing I did in the leg, except I just closed it off. So I'm working on the second leg, or the second arm right now. So I have my square bottom, and then I'm trying to build it up. I gotta do some stuffing, and I guess I will come back when I am closing it up, because yeah. Alrighty, so I figured out the leg, or sorry, not the, I keep saying the leg, the arm needs to be 3 feet. No, not 3 feet. 1 foot 3 inches. And so about 28 rows does that. So similar to the leg, how we did 27 rows after that first one, this one is 28. And then so now we're just gonna close her up. And so how I did that on the first one is just kind of doing the opposite of the leg. So it you chain 1, and then you single crochet back loop only, which in this loop, it is just very difficult to do. Again, that's what the vlog's about. It's about being real and honest. There we go. So single crochet in the back, and you're gonna single crochet 3 back loops together. So 1, 2, 3, and then boop. Then you have 2 stitches there. I'm just gonna stitch marker this because sometimes it's really hard to see with black yarn. Alrighty, and then you're just gonna do that again. You're gonna do that a total of 4 times. Alrighty, she's all done. I'm going to cut a decent sized tail. So at the end of that, you're supposed to slip stitch, which is what it will say in the pattern. I'm just gonna finish off any extra little stuffing that I need to do. Get this arm nice and full. I think that's good. All right, and then you should have 8 single crochets left. So then in the front loop of all 8 of those, you're just gonna do a little loop. You're gonna fasten off. Boop. Pull that. Voila, your little squared off shoulder. And yeah, there we go. I got my 2 arms and my 2 legs. So the legs will be open with 27 single crochet and the arms will be closed with 28 single crochet. Alrighty, so for the head, I think I'm gonna kind of start off in the same way with the cube. Again, I'm linking that cube tutorial down below because honestly it's really helpful when you're looking for really basic shapes and stuff, like if you're doing a sphere or a rectangular prism, a cone. I always love to search references because it can really help you figure out shaping when you're creating your own pattern. So the head, it says 4 inches. Well, actually, I think I'm gonna start on the body because then if the body looks right with the limbs, then I can adjust the head to fit with that. So it says the flat part, the bottom is 4, I'm not sure if that's 4.5 inches or just 4 inches. Either way, I'll start with 4 inches and then I'll see how it looks from there, and then just kind of, again, add or do less based on that. So I am going to, again, just start with the same way I started the legs, with 8 single crochet in a magic ring, and then doing the, I believe it's just single crochet and then 3 single crochet. And then I'm going to continue to kind of follow the cube tutorial to see how she, like, if she just continues that pattern or does anything different. So yeah, I will be back. Okay, so another update. I started doing the square. 4 inches is definitely not enough. But I also realized, and again, this comes when making a pattern, I went ahead and looked at my reference, and homie's body is a rectangle, not a cube. So I'm not gonna undo this because the head is a cube and I will be doing a cube for the head. So I really want to do the body first, so I will just snip that. I like to live on the wall side, so I'll just pull a little loop. I'm just gonna put homie aside for now. So obviously, like, I'm writing down everything, so I'll come back to y'all with all the measurements and junk. But now I will try the rectangle. So I'm pretty sure what I'm probably gonna do is the chain method, where I chain the length I want and then just kind of wrap around it. Alrighty, so 14 did not work, so time to frog this. I think I'm gonna try 10 and see if that works, and just 10, so then it's like 9 is the starting point, and let's see if that works. Alrighty, I'm back. So I did the chain 10 in the middle, which was basically a 9 because one of them's a turning chain. It'll be in the pattern. Discord just doesn't know when to be quiet. Anyways, I used a bunch of these to measure out corners because black yarn, and it's also 11 o'clock at night, so I'm tired. But yeah, I think 4 rounds did good. That fits both legs on them pretty well. Let me just boop, boop. And I think that should work. And now I'm just gonna single crochet in the back loops and then just single crochet up and around until, I mean, I want to say maybe 10 inches. I'll try 8 inches and see how that is. But I think maybe 10 inches might be good. Yeah. Alrighty, so it is another day. Here's the body so far. I have to like stuff it for it to look rectangular and cubed, but I think that is a pretty good length, because like on an Enderman's body it's like not even half an arm, so I'm just like with an arm, like I think that's pretty good. Let me try it with I mean this is an arm, but with a leg too. Like, I think that's pretty good. And then I quickly just want to check. We're not at the 2 foot mark yet. I think this honestly might be just a tad bit over 2 feet. Just because of length. This is like half an inch over 6.5, which is what my little maths did. So sometimes it's good to do the math as just a base. And then go through and just see how it looks in person. That's what I do sometimes. So, especially because the legs ended up being a little wider, so everything else kind of has to compensate for that, just because that's the yarn. So again, that's just stuff to gauge. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna close this off completely, kind of similar to how I did the feet. So I'm just gonna try doing a reverse of what I did originally. So like instead of doing the 3 single crochet as an increase, I'll just do 3 single crochet together. So I will come back and see how that looks. To make life easier when closing, because I first just tried like doing, you know, the first steps backwards, but then the corners weren't lining up, and this is where like the corners really need to line up because the body is a pretty prominent piece. So instead I just added 2 single crochet like at the start. So then it's like everything would line up and I wouldn't have to do a lot of math because, yeah, crochet girly things. So, I think this is good. Of course, I'm gonna stuff it, but I think that is, like, that's pretty square. So I think after stuffing it and closing it up, that's gonna be pretty good. And then I can get back to making the head since I accidentally started that. When trying to make this. So, oh, this is gonna be so soft. It's so cute. I love it. Alrighty, so here's the finished body. I think that's really good, especially because like an Enderman, again, like it's pretty slender. I think it's Slenderman. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty rectangular. Again, it's crochet, so it can never be like, well, it can be, but I don't like the stitching on the corners because I feel like I just want it to be a nice, you know, soft, squishable plush. So I think this is a great body shape for the Enderman. And so now I can go back to that, you know, failed original body attempt, and I can continue this and use it as the head. So I'm like writing all my pattern down on post-it notes. But again, I don't know how many times I've said that in this video because I'm vlogging this over like multiple days, multiple weeks. But yeah, again, the written pattern will be linked down below. Again, this is just for people who who want to see this. Maybe this helps when you're making this pattern. Or, I mean, if you are trying to make a pattern, maybe like my thought process helps you. But yeah, either way, I'm just gonna continue the pattern I got going here until I get the size of the head I want, which obviously 4 inches is not it, because this is already 5.5 inches, and that is, oh no, it is not a big enough head. Alrighty, so I ended up going around 7 rounds, and I think that is a good size for the head in comparison to the body. It ends up being around 8 inches, which is again like twice the size it was math-wise, but again, sometimes math doesn't math. But yeah, coincidentally I had purple post-it notes and the Enderman's eyes are purple, and so since his head is a literal cube, I know it's just gonna be this like the same height, so 8 inches. So I'm thinking midway of that is where I do the eyes. I kind of like that because I know they're right at the edge. So that's going to be a little interesting to try and figure out.
Alright, so it wasn't really working out the way I was doing it, because similar to the body, which I should have done it in retrospect there, is, like, there just kept being some extra, like, thing here, because it, like, starts from the middle and works its way around. So instead, I'm just gonna give it a little snip there, and pull the end, just tighten it, and I'm just gonna start right in the corner, because it's just single crochet around, so there's nothing special. So I'm just going to start in the back loop of that corner and work my way around from there. So I will put that in the notes of this pattern. So again, just going through the process, I mathed wrong. So it's actually 7 inches wide. So then if I were to put the eyes smack in the middle there, I like this size for the eyes. So like that's perfect template. I'm just going to do 1.5 inches for each, which means on top and the bottom should be about 2 3/4 inches. So this tape measure, well, yeah, it's just helping. So now I'm gonna do the same thing this way to figure out, you know, what's the size of the gap between the eyes. Oh, I also got the purples. So there's this like lavender for the outside, because it's like white lavender, and this is for the inside for that darker purple. It is a new day. I'm finishing up my coffee, and I'm finishing up this Enderman today. So, where is my crochet hook? I do not see it where I left it, but either way, I got the eyes. I think that's pretty good placement. I have to fix it a couple times. I think it still has that pretty square head, which I think still works pretty well. And I like this height in comparison to the body. So I think I'm gonna close this off here. So similar to the arms and legs, I'm just gonna reverse this. And yeah, I think I should be all good and Gucci. But I think where this is, I'm gonna be starting with it closing, since I did move this to a corner, which I think that works. And I genuinely do not know where my crochet hook is, because I have it there. And yeah, I'm gonna go look for my crochet hook. And, yeah, I guess I will be back. Alrighty, so he's all stitched up. Here's my little string at the bottom. I had to adjust it a little bit because the corners weren't lining up how I would have liked them to line up. So I just, I started, again, writing everything on post-it notes so then I can then transfer it onto Ribblr and Instagram for the written pattern. I started with single crocheting 3 times and then doing the 3 together, and then 11 single crochet and 3 together, and then just kind of continued it from there. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little time lapse of sewing everything together, and yeah, I'm so happy it's turning out so well. And it's crazy that like I wrote this pattern. It's alrighty, so I have attached the head to the body. It looks so cute. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, arms are on. Oh my goodness. It's adorable and huge and so huggable. Now, for legs, I'm just gonna make it super easy. And then this one has a tiny string because I ran out of yarn. But this one is gonna start it off, and I think I'm just gonna straight up sew the legs to the bottom. Easy peasy. Need to lint roll all the extra stuff in, but here we go. Big old Enderman over here. Oh, he came out so adorable. And yeah. This pattern again will be free and available on my Ribblr and my Instagram, yeah. So be sure to check that out. And yeah. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot. If you all enjoyed it, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing to see more crochet content in the future. And let me know if y'all like these crochet vlogs, you know? Is this something you'd want to see in the future when I create other patterns? Or I can just stick with normal tutorials? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, again, thank you all so much again. Don't forget to subscribe and have
fun crafting.